One of my best friends, he lives in Canada, he said to me, he goes, Ben, isn't it just so wild that almost every single thing that Donald Trump does is fraudulent? Like everything he says, every move is a lie. How come all Americans don't see that? It's so easy for us to see here. I said, it's a great point. I mean, there's a right-wing propaganda machine pushing out all of Donald Trump's lies every single day, but Donald Trump has been able to con 35% of the country. There's no doubt about it. Just take a look at this. Remember when Donald Trump said while he was at the criminal trial that that's preventing him from campaigning, and he wants to campaign every day, but the criminal trial is what's preventing him. Remember he said that? Here is the list of events that Donald Trump had on his campaign site earlier in the day. No events scheduled. No events scheduled. Well, doesn't Donald Trump claim to have raised all of this money, which, by the way, we haven't seen yet on any of his financial reports? And Donald Trump is holding events in public parks in Nevada in 100+ degree heat while he tells stories about how he'd rather be electrocuted than eaten by sharks. Don't you have billionaire friends who own casinos? Why don't you rent out a casino auditorium and have people be there with air conditioning so they're not passing out from heat exhaustion while you tell stories about how you'd rather be electrocuted than eaten by sharks, or telling people that I don't care about you, I just want your vote? Remember what Donald Trump said a few weeks ago? Let me just show this to you. Play this clip.
This is what took me off and takes me off the campaign trail, because I should be in Georgia now. I should be in Florida now. I should be in a lot of different places right now campaigning, and I'm sitting here. And this will go on for a long time. It's very unfair.
Well, that's a lie, right? And with Donald Trump having no events scheduled, I was reflecting on that conversation I had with my best friend who lives in Canada. And I was thinking about, too, with some of the good economic data that has been coming in, as there is an economic boom taking place in the United States, where the United States economy is far exceeding any of the other major world economies right now. We got data about this manufacturing boom under President Biden. You remember when Donald Trump said that his infrastructure plan was just 2 weeks away, and just all you have to do is wait 2 weeks, and I'm coming with a plan. Don't you worry. No one does infrastructure like Trump, he said, but he never delivered a plan. He never delivers. That's the thing about him. That's what me and my buddy were talking about here. The same way he said that he was going to do all these events, no infrastructure. Here, just you can see it right here.
We'll talk about infrastructure.
Pass a $1 trillion infrastructure plan.
Who's better at infrastructure than Trump?
We're going to rebuild the crumbling infrastructure.
I want to rebuild our infrastructure first.
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure. Infrastructure. Infrastructure. Infrastructure. Infrastructure. Infrastructure.
Infrastructure. Thank you. Good job.
By the way, the Biden campaign posted this. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. And he's willing to say and do anything for that cause. And he doesn't care about people. I mean, also remember when he went around and he said his healthcare plan just 2 weeks away. He's got the biggest, best healthcare plan. It's going to replace Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act. He's got a plan like no other plan. He's not going to reveal what the plan is. And then remember when he gave that interview, he had Kayleigh McEnany have like a binder of blank pieces of paper. So it was like 800 pages of blank paper with no plan on it, which is blank paper. Remember when he said there would be a healthcare plan? No healthcare plan. Play this clip.
When we win on November 8th, we will be able to immediately repeal and replace Obamacare. My first day in office, I'm going to ask Congress to put a bill on my desk.
I hope we're going to surprise you with a really good plan.
You can end up with great health care for a fraction of the price, and that's going to take place immediately after we go in, okay? Immediately. On my first day.
You're going to be very proud of what we put forth having to do with healthcare. I know that we're all going to make a deal on healthcare. That's such an easy one.
Form a really great plan.
You've been in office 3.5 years. You don't have a plan.
Well, we haven't had, excuse me, you heard me yesterday. We're signing a healthcare plan within 2 weeks. A full and complete healthcare plan. I've been saying this for a long time.
Have you heard of NAD+? It's a molecule in every cell of your body, and it's critical to aging well. NAD+ helps keep us feeling youthful by promoting cellular energy, maintaining healthy DNA using nutrients efficiently, and supporting detoxification. By age 50, most people's NAD+ levels are only half of what they were at age 20. Falling NAD+ levels is a major reason that signs of aging start to accelerate. Luckily, science has discovered a way to boost your NAD+ levels up to 50%. It's called Qualia NAD+, a groundbreaking supplement from Qualia. Many doctors and health experts over age 30 use Qualia NAD+ themselves, and I'm proud to have them sponsor this episode. NAD+ is a large molecule that struggles to be bioavailable if you supplement it directly. That's why Qualia NAD+ supports NAD+ the right way by including ingredients called NAD+ precursors that your body can convert into NAD+ to boost your body's own NAD+ production up to 50%. That's great. These are vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free ingredients like niacin, niacinamide, Niagen, also known as NR. These are three of the most well-researched NAD+ precursors, and all three are in Qualia NAD+ to maximize your body's NAD+ production. Qualia NAD+ is clinically tested and naturopathic, doctor formulated. Look, I want to feel decades younger than my actual age. That's why I'm staying at the cutting edge of aging research and boosting my NAD+ levels with Qualia NAD+. After just a month of Qualia NAD+, I'm feeling energy support and vitality return that I haven't felt in years. So to boost your NAD+ levels up to 50%, go to qualialife.com/Jordy. I love that. For up to 50% off, and use code Jordy at checkout for an additional 15% off. That's Qualia Life, spelled QUALIALIFE.com/Jordy. Go to qualialife.com/Jordy and use code Jordy, spelled JORDY, for an extra 15% off your purchase. Thanks, Qualia, for sponsoring this episode. Now, you remember as well Donald Trump saying that there would be the stock market would crash if President Biden was in office, that only Donald Trump does the stock market the way he does the stock market, big stock markets. Meanwhile, you had some of the kind of biggest crashes in American history successively when Trump was in office. And meanwhile, we have record highs. Remember when Trump said that at the debate, though, that the stock market was going to crash? Play this clip.
They said the stock market will boom if I'm elected. If he's elected, the stock market will crash.
Well, here's the data from yesterday. Record highs. Record highs. Play this clip.
For the S&P and the NASDAQ, 3 straight record closes. Look at those gains.
And those record highs are because there's been some good data when it comes to inflation cooling. I think that's an important data point that we got as well. Headline inflation in May 2024 at 0%. Look, even some of the Fox contributors were talking about how the economy's doing well, and that's why Democrats are outperforming all of these polls that we've been seeing on a consistent basis. Here, play this.
And certainly I support it. I do think democracy's on the line, and I think there's a reason that Democrats have outperformed all these polls since the Dobbs decision by 6 to 8 points. And, there's a lot to campaign on from both sides. As Steve said, there's a real debate to be had on the economy and, where taxes should go and how corporate should be treated versus individuals and hardworking Americans. And I think it's worth having that debate. I also think that we are starting to see inflation come down. It's off by 2/3. We need to continue to see it to come down. But today's numbers that showed cooling inflation was a good thing. And my guess is Steve and I agree that the Fed should not be cutting rates today, nor in September, because the labor market and the consumer sentiment's still strong out there.
And I reflect upon what we see now with a booming stock market, with unemployment at record lows, with wages increasing. with lots of great economic data, with President Biden actually taking surgical action to achieve these results. Remember 4 years ago today what Donald Trump said when he defended chokeholds after George Floyd's death? Play this clip.
Now, I will say this, as somebody that, you grow up and you wrestle and you fight and or you see what happens. Sometimes if you're alone and you're fighting somebody who's tough and you get somebody in a chokehold, what are you going to do? Say, oh, and it's a real bad person, and you know that. And they do exist. I mean, we have some real bad people. You saw that during the last couple of weeks. You saw some very good people protesting. You saw some bad people also. And you get somebody in a chokehold, and what are you going to do now? Let go and say, oh, let's start all over again. I'm not allowed to have you in a chokehold.
Also, 4 years ago to the day, a Fox host confronted Donald Trump with the origin of this phrase, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. This is what Trump was doing 4 years ago. Play this clip.
And the tweets, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Why those words?
So that's an expression I've heard over the years. And it
Do you know where it
really
comes
means
from?
I think Philadelphia, the mayor of Philadelphia,
No,
from what
it comes from 1967. I was about 18 months old at the time. Everybody's shooting Wiki because they probably got it wrong. But it was from the chief of police in Miami. He was cracking down, and he meant what he said. And he said, I don't even care if it makes it look like brutality. I'm going to crack down. When the looting starts, the shooting starts.
Yeah.
Also, you want to fast forward to today, where Donald Trump brags about doing nothing to save children from being shot in schools. Like, he's going on speaking to the NRA and saying, people wanted me to do something and I did nothing. I did nothing to protect the children. Play this clip.
Perhaps worst of all, even as they turn America into a crime-ridden, gang-infested, terror-filled dumping ground, Joe Biden and his thugs will do everything in their power to confiscate your guns and annihilate your God-given right to self-defense. You have a right to self-defense. You've always had that right. And during my 4 years, nothing happened, and there was great pressure on me having to do with guns. We did nothing. We didn't yield. And once you yield a little bit, that's just the beginning. That's the avalanche.
So while all of that's going on, here was the speech that President Biden gave this past week. Play the clip.
My predecessor told the NRA convention recently, he's proud that, quote, I did nothing on guns when I was president. And by doing nothing, he made the situation considerably worse. That's why every town, why this summit, why all of you here today are so damn important. We need you. We need you to overcome the unrelenting opposition of the gun lobby, gun manufacturers, so many politicians when they oppose common sense gun legislation.
So we could have speeches like that by President Biden, or we could have, 4 years of all caps ranting and raving posts every morning, incoherent thoughts, incoherent attacks, constant whining, drama every single day, carnage. Trump American carnage. Here's what Trump posted as well before. Corrupt Soros-backed Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg at the direction of crooked. I don't want to read it. It's so obnoxious. Crooked Joe, a total scam. It's a witch hunt against me. It's all whining. By the way, I did a video earlier as well. You may have seen it yesterday where I showed you some of these messages that he's sending, like these emails that you wake up to at like 4 a.m. in the morning, like, haul out the guillotine. They want me beheaded. My opponents, they're trying to behead me. Swamp monsters, he says. He goes, deep state swamp creatures. They're coming after me. Seriously? Seriously. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.